Hi, my name is Hans Peter Meyer, and today I'm talking to Don McLellan in the historic Waverley Hotel in Cumberland. I see the Waverley as part of a very exciting food precinct happening here in the Comox Valley and in the island too. One of the things that's happening is Don also owns the Ash Berry Farm just down the road in Royston. Is that right, Don?
Yes, just over the highway in Royston.
Right. And some of the product from Ash Berry Farms actually shows up here on the menu at the Waverley. Like the other night I was in having your tacos, and the chicken in the tacos was from your farm. Is that right?
Absolutely. We raise chickens for the farm, or for the bar. We, of course, strawberries is our main crop. We supply all the strawberries for the vinaigrette on the menu. And in the summer, we try to grow, 3 or 4 different vegetables: beans and squash, and a few other things that we can supply. Garlic scapes.
Right. Now, are you guys also growing pork for the bar?
We don't. It's just supply and demand. We're a little bit small for the amount of pork that we go through in the bar, so the pork is just for customers, direct comes to customers.
Okay, so there will be a website for the Ashberry Farm posted with this video. Now, we've got an array of local or Vancouver Island and also some Powell River beer. Apparently now we're electorally connected to Powell River. They're part of our region. But the Waverley Hotel is sponsoring this month's, the February 2013 Local Food Hero promotion on the island, and the focus of that is local beer. And you can win $100 in dining at the Waverley if you play along, and that'll also be posted. So the Waverley and Cumberland generally is known as a lucky beer town, but you guys are starting to change that. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, I guess it's happening in a lot of places that the craft breweries are taking, some of the market share from the larger beer companies, and we have a lot of people who really enjoy the different beers that are now available coming out from the craft breweries.
So what are some of the favorite beers here besides Lucky?
One of our best beers in draft is the Phillips Blue Buck. We really like the Phillips product. We also have a couple other of their beers on tap. We do a couple taps that are tied with the seasonal beers that a couple breweries do. Again, Phillips has different times of the year. They do special beers that are kind of for a limited time only, in the spring or in the summer or the winter. And also with Vancouver Island breweries, they have a couple beers that are available in the winter that we have in the winter, and then when there are other beers available in the summer, we take those.
So do you know what's coming down? I mean, it's February now.
Yes.
What'll you be featuring in a couple months?
Last year we really liked the Phillips Raspberry Wheat Beer. And so we take the chocolate porter off in the summer, and although some people miss it, it's nice to have a bit of a change. And then the other tap that we usually change, last year we ran the Beachcomber wheat beer, which was also a very nice beer.
And where was that from?
That's Vancouver Island Breweries.
Right. Okay, so craft beer is also making its way onto your menu. I mean, the reason that I haven't really paid attention to beer for years, and then in November, you guys hosted your second beer pairing menu with your chef.
Yes.
I wasn't really impressed. For anybody who's familiar with the Waverley, it's a historic pub. It's got some really great character. Well, that night it was dressed up, and it was pretty full of people tasting great food and pairing with a lot of different beers. Can you tell me how that came to be?
Well, when we hired the new chef, it was a change from probably a shorter cook to a Red Seal qualified chef who.
So this is Greg
MacDonald.
Greg MacDonald, and he came from Kingfisher, right?
Kingfisher, and before that, some very good hotels in Whistler and Vancouver and Victoria, so where he'd done a lot of great cooking. So aside from wanting to take the menu up a notch and provide very good pub food, I explained it as the chef's table allow him to flex his culinary muscle. So he can make a lot nicer dishes than we would normally serve in a pub, and Initially, we had served it with wine for a couple, and although the turnout was really good, it didn't quite fit our atmosphere in the pub here. So we said, let's try beer, and it worked really well.
Yeah, I was very impressed, and I'm also impressed at a place like this. I mean, forgive me, folks. I grew up in the Comox Valley. Cumberland's a cool place, but Cumberland is still Cumberland, and when I heard you guys were doing this kind of food here, I was curious.
Sure.
So how do you retain someone like Greg in working in a bar?
Well, I think although we have the staples of the pub food, there is 3 to 6 items on the menu that you wouldn't normally find in a pub, perhaps. Like our High Guy salad is a really interesting Asian salad. The Caesar salad is a very interesting take on Caesar salad. Stuff like fish tacos, which I guess like a gastropub, a more upmarket pub certainly does that kind of stuff. But Greg has full control of the menu. He has ideas that he wants to bring to the table, and he gets to do what he wants, basically.
Does he live in Cumberland?
He does, and that's most of our staff lives in Cumberland. It's a really great feel, I think, for me, the staff that we have here and the managers that we have here, and the real community. And that's a nice thing about Greg. He has so many friends in the community, mountain biking and stuff like that, that the way he puts it, he wants to be able to walk down the street and not have anybody have a bad meal. So, because he sees everybody that eats here, so he wants to be able to have people come up to him and say, we had a great meal. And of course, anywhere you may have a problem here or there, but for the most part, he wants to give out real quality food.
Okay, well, that's certainly what I've experienced here. But the Waverly is only part of something happening on this street. I mean, it's basically you've got a one-street town,
yes.
But it seems like most of what's happening here is about food. So can you just briefly tell me, why is that happening, and why would people want to visit here?
I think it's partly Cumberland's maybe undergoing a bit of a rejuvenation on the main street here. More younger families who enjoy the stuff that we have to offer, from the coffee shops, chocolate shops, really pizza and new restaurants. I think it just has a lot to offer. More like the Cumberland community has supported this kind of business, and so it grows by one every 6 months or each year. Somebody opens up and it's successful, and now perhaps the word's getting out a little bit more in the Comox Valley that there's some interesting stuff to come out to Cumberland for.
Right. Well, certainly in the Comox Valley, I think you could spend a whole day here walking around, exploring food shops and getting very full. That's actually what we're going to do today. For part of the day is, eat our way up and down the street.
Nice.
The other thing is, there's a guy down the street, and he was at your beer pairing thing. I just want to mention this before we close. Michael Timchuk was his knowledge about beer was incredible, and he makes great pizzas down at Ryder's Pizzas, which is about 2 blocks down the road.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you haven't been to Cumberland, check the street out and definitely drop into the Waverly. And if it's February, check out our local beer promotion at the Eat Drink Vancouver Island page on Facebook. Again, there'll be links to that. And thank you very much, Don.
Thanks, Hans.
And thank you for watching.